kind of character that James is. Whilst I have lived with James for the past 3 years at university, Claude has some first-hand experience of many of the scenarios that have made him into who he is today, which...
Okay, thank you, Pete. I'd like to say a few words about how I first met James, which was at Garrett's Hay. We had James and Wayner representing St Paul's. There he is. And as soon as I met James, it became apparent to me that there were 3 components of his personality that sort of symbolise everything that he is. First of all, he's ultra competitive. Secondly, he's a control freak. And thirdly, he has an obsession with winding people up. Essentially me. All these 3 personality traits were cultivated on the football pitch. And James and football, as I will tell, became an increasingly potent mix. Probably one of my, the fondest memories I have of James playing football was in year 12, when I gave him a challenge. It was against Uppingham School, when we were in year 12, we were wearing the crappy yellow kit. I said to James, how fast can you get a yellow card? For James, this was not a challenge. It was a gift, really. He was actively being encouraged to do his favourite thing, fouling people. So, once the referee blew his whistle, 5 seconds later, the opposition striker is on the floor, shrieking in pain. James not only has accomplished my task, he has set a new world record for the fastest yellow card, coming in at 5 seconds. His cheeky grin towards me showed that not only had he set a new world record, but he could not be more pleased with himself. When we were at the grammar school, obviously we play football every lunch, because James is obsessed with football, got to play football, blah, blah, blah. And the problem was for James is that occasionally, well not occasionally, pretty much all the time, he'd be on the losing team. Anybody that's played football with James will know that James and losing is not a good combination. So James had to find a way to get around this. So through his own ingenuity, he formed, he came up with a new game, which everybody knows is Hobby Rules. So Paige is someone who's played a lot of Hobby Rules. Can you enlighten us to the rules? Thank you.
Well, for those of you that haven't been privileged enough to participate in a game of Hobby Rules, I'd like to run you through a few of the most key elements of the game and the way that it differs from traditional football. Firstly, whereas football is normally administered by an independent and qualified referee, Hobby Rules is refereed by James. And James alone. James's authority is absolute, and his decisions cannot be questioned. Secondly, when having a game of football with 2 friends, it's usually customary to try and sort of get fair teams to make for a good game. In Hobby Rules, this isn't the case. The worst players make up one team, and the best players make up James's team. Finally, it's traditional for a game of football to last for 90 minutes. However, a game of Hobby Rules lasts until James's team are finally winning. It may sound more than a little complicated, but really there is only one thing that you must understand about Hobby Rules. James has to be the winner. And it is for this reason that he is, to this day, undefeated.
To be fair, when we play football these days, it's a little fairer, because James selects captains who then pick the team. So we have fair teams, but he's still obviously the referee. So obviously it's completely biased. But it's progression nevertheless. So you never know, in a few years we might actually be able to play a fair game of football. But you know, this is a trade-off you have to accept.
You'll be lucky.
But Hobby Rules, it's not just about football, it's a way of life. James always likes to be in control. However, it doesn't really, how can I say, it's not really spread, well, it doesn't really exist when he's dealing with girls. Rather than, with the boys he likes to be the dominant guy who organises everything. With the girls, he'd rather situate himself in their back pocket. His more cautious and reserved approach is no surprise, especially when he's been in the shadow of the Plesiosaurus Rex himself. That's me. James would often come up to me and say, Claude, you know, can you give me a few advice, you know, how I can deal with the days. I'd say to him, James, some things in life just cannot be taught. You know, since he's been hanging around with me, he's always learned to live off the scraps. Luckily for him, when he started going on with Emily over there, I was taken, do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, it'd be a completely different story. You know, James could be single today. That's what I do. Well, anyway, to give you a bigger picture of how Hobby Wars has declined, and, you know, basically how he is. Well, it's not Hobby Wars anymore, it's Emily Wars, pretty much. Peach can tell you a few stories from the university. There you go, Peach.
Right, hey, it is fair to say that there's been something of a transformation during our time together at university, and I think that the writing was on the wall for James's cult of personality on the day that, rather than come to our weekly game of six-a-side, he decided that he would aimlessly drive Emily around Stockport in vain, looking for a non-existent Vodafone shop because she was demanding that she have her phone replaced. James's role as Emily's personal chauffeur continued into third year, and nothing could get James out of bed at 7 a.m, quite like Emily demanding to be taken to a 9 a.m. lecture. But anyway, all jokes aside, as a group, we'd like to present you a gift that we've got for you together. So, Mark.
Here you go, mate.